G'day, it's Steve here and welcome to Fortress Learning. In this bite-sized tutorial, I'm going to talk about adult learner characteristics and the importance of acknowledging that people learn in different ways, as well as having different reasons and motivations for attending training. Understanding the different characteristics of your learners is extremely important to ensure that you can provide a valuable learning experience for everyone. An adult's motivation to learn can be affected by a number of different reasons. Although many people come along to the training and they'll be ready and motivated because they've already seen the value in what they'll learn and have a goal or purpose for attending. But this is not always the case. Some people have not had to study for a long time and they feel nervous and uneasy. Some people come along expecting the training to be just like that last horrible training experience they had. And others may have been told by their workplace that they must do the training, but they don't see its value or purpose. These people have not committed to the training, and it's likely that they may lack the motivation to get involved in the learning process.
I'd like to tell you a quick story about a student that I had once who turned up to the training and walked into the classroom clearly with all sorts of blockers. No smile on her face, her arms were folded. She really looked as though she had no real interest in being there. Now, I realized that I needed to get some sort of buy-in for this student because otherwise it would end up being a waste of time for her being there sitting in the back corner and really achieving nothing from the training. So when I spoke to her, she told me that the reason she came along to the training is because her boss had sent her along. Now, as it turns out, she didn't get along with her boss, and she felt that she was being sent to do the training as some form of punishment. So what I did to this student, I said, well, firstly, who paid for the course that you're doing? And she said, oh, the work did. I said, well, that's good because it's, training is not cheap. And I said, and you know what else? I said, when you finish this qualification, I said, it's yours. It doesn't belong to your workplace. It's your qualification. It's a valuable qualification, and it's something that you can take with you wherever you go. Now, having explained that to this student and giving her some rationale or the what's in it for me, she totally changed. You could see the blockers all fell down. She bought into the training and ended up being an absolutely fantastic student.
To combat any issues with motivation, it's important to understand the learning cycle that takes learners from the initial commitment phase through to applying the skills and knowledge in the workplace. The first part of this cycle involves getting the buy-in from the learners and ensuring that they understand the relevance of the training and remove any blockers that they may have. This is the point where learners commit to participating in the training event. It's really important to build a rapport and trust with your learners as soon as you can to successfully achieve this part of the cycle. Try a meet and greet activity and some icebreakers to get everyone comfortable with each other. With blockers eliminated, the learner is now prepared to start the learning journey by taking in and processing the content and material that's being presented. This can be achieved through the use of demonstrations and explanation of skills and knowledge, ensuring that the learners have the opportunity to ask questions and clarify the information that's presented to them. The try it phase involves learners consolidating the skills and knowledge learned by experimenting with it or practicing it in some way. So this includes individual or group activities that are aimed at recall or comprehension and practice runs conducted in a safe, controlled environment. Finally, the use it phase involves learners adapting and applying the skills they've learned to their own real-life situations, like on-the-job experience. If the training has been presented well, the learners should remain motivated and willing to buy into future training events. Understanding the preferred learning styles and preferences of the people you train is extremely important to ensure that after the buy-in process, the learners remain motivated and engaged throughout the learning cycle. Different learners engage and learn differently when exposed to different types of sensory resources and activities. The VARK model is based around the theory that adults tend to gravitate towards one of four sensory experiences. These are visual, auditory, reading, and kinesthetics. There are visual learners who prefer to learn through seeing content, which includes things like pictures, diagrams, demonstrations and displays, handouts, videos, and even whiteboards and flip charts. Auditory learners prefer learning through listening to spoken word from others. This includes participating in discussions, attending lectures, listening to podcasts, music, and other sound effects. Some learners prefer to learn from reading content and even writing things down. They prefer learning resources like written instructions, textbooks, handouts, note-taking, and reading blogs. Finally, there are the kinesthetic learners who prefer to learn from hands-on experiences. They prefer to learn from physical activities and practice, physical samples, touching and feeling, making things, and they like active involvement and find it difficult to learn when sitting still. Now, although learners generally gravitate towards one preferred style, they're likely to benefit from a combination of sensory learning experiences. Honey and Mumford present 4 distinct learning styles that categorise the way that different adults prefer to learn. These are activists, who are happy to be thrown in the deep end and prefer to learn through social interaction where they can bounce ideas off others. There are reflectors. Reflectors need time to process information and content internally before they'll begin to actively participate in the training or activities. There are theorists who need information to be presented in a logical manner that makes sense. Theorists need to know why something is so and tend to ask questions to consolidate what they're learning. Finally, there are the pragmatists who prefer a hands-on approach to learning where they can try things out to see how and if they work. Acknowledging that adults have different characteristics and learning preferences and incorporating this into the design of your training resources and activities will allow you to provide engaging and successful learning experiences for everyone. Thanks for watching, and if a career as a trainer in vocational education is something you're interested in, contact Fortress Learning to see just how you can get started.